Anything can happen at any time. Let's start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Welcome to another live lesson. And this pretty much is entitled Anything Can Happen at Any Time. Um, there's many different scenarios that could bring about Jacob's trouble. Today is January 6, 2024, the hopeful year that of Jacob's trouble. And brother's been talking about it. They got the movie The First Purge out. And that movie pretty much was centered around the very first purge, which was set up as an experiment. And that experiment that experiment pretty much was with Jake. And it was the Southern Kingdom and the Northern Kingdom together. Low income individuals that need assistance, that were offered money to stay in Staten Island, which is where that was based off of. And, if they participated in the deletion process, then they would get more money depending on, how many people they deleted. And pretty much, it's no coincidence, or it seems like a coincidence, which, no such thing as coincidences, that they just put that movie this month on Netflix. Any other time you would have to pay for it or rent it in order to see it. Now all of a sudden at this particular time in the fight, the last month or so, I'm just repeating myself because of the keeps turning off. For the last month or so, 3 weeks or months or so, I've been watching those post-apocalyptic movies, and pretty much, like the Book of Eli, The Road. We just watched the Purge Election Day the other day. I was watching some of the first Purge, and just movies like that to kind of, outside of the scriptures, get somewhat of a perspective on the things that are to come. And the scriptures give us all of the blueprint that we need. But yeah, this phone is almost dead, the other phone. I was gonna pull out some precepts, but I'll try to quote them best I can. The scriptures give us the best perspective out of it all. But as Elder Apostle Gabar always says, the mind thinks in pictures. And these movies, they pretty much give you like a insight to what's coming. Now, when we read the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, in the 16th chapter, it speaks about, Esau pretty much in a roundabout way, but Esau, it doesn't mention the name Esau, but in a roundabout way, it speaks about Esau and pretty much the plans that they have today, where it says that those that fear the Lord, there's going to be an insurrection that's brought against them. And those that fear the Lord happen to be the Israelites, which are the most spiritualist people on the planet, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and the Israelites that are scattered abroad that don't look like your typical Israelites, but they still have that devotion, that fire inside of them, because the Spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we are the sons of the living power. Now, those times that are coming are going to be very hard, and Lord's will, this be the year. I mean, all type of things are popping off, left, right, center. And just real quick, on another note real quick, a lot of brothers been doing videos on that situation that happened out there in Miami. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. But it had to be something, because there was this one Latin tribe individual that was filming. I saw a video, I think it was on Instagram or something like that, brother sent me. And pretty much he showed Miami where the mall is at, because he stayed, I don't know if that's a hotel or where he actually lives at. And pretty much I've never seen that many police cars lined up. There had to be over 100 police cars. So that means that the whole, police force of Miami, and I'm pretty sure other counties came there, because there had to be more than 100 police cars parked outside of that mall, and then more were coming. You could hear the sirens wailing in the background, so I've never seen anything like that. So it's possible that that could be something that's real, and we're deceived. When the brother sent it to me, I believe it was Amouan Gabar, the priest Amouan Gabar, the young elder from the New York camp, that sent it to me, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And I say, yeah, scriptures speak about the apparitions, coming to pass. So, an elder pastor did a video on it also. He had went into that. So we are in some real serious times. But the main point is that, matter of fact, I forget the guy's name. I can't think of his name right now. I watch his videos periodically. This Jake that has connections from a sheriff, he called him, and he did a video on something coming. I forget the actual name of it, but pretty much in there, one of the main things that they're preparing for, they said March 14th to the 15th would be something dealing with HEALTH, dealing with emergencies surrounding that word. And this could very well also be another way that they push for Jacob's trouble. Because remember, the scriptures say in Jeremiah 30 and verse 7 that it will be the time of Jacob's trouble. And the other scripture in 2 Ezra 16 speaks about a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So it's going to be something that's going to be very dramatic, to where eventually, it's going to be so bad out here that the Lord is going to have to step in for his elect, to deliver his elect. Yahushua said it best: if he don't step in, there shall no flesh, or the days not shortened, there shall no flesh be left to be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. And that's what we're banking on and counting on, because the Lord is going to come through in the clutch when that time comes. So the brother had mentioned that. Like I said, I forgot the brother's page. Lord's will, if I remember, I'll try to link his video in the description box. It was a short video, a little less than 9 minutes. And he was speaking about something that they pushed for March 14th to the 15th, dealing with TH, and we've been hearing talks about it. We've been hearing, different, so what I'm looking for, when they do those mock, drills for things of that nature, so they're talking about it, something to do with the lungs, y'all, what I'm saying. I'm trying not to use certain words, because how these devils do. And even if they don't get you now, eventually, even if they say it's okay to say certain words, they still clip your videos from 4 or 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 2 months ago, so on and so forth. So I'm trying to be careful in the words that I use, so that, videos don't get clipped. Some days you don't give a shit. You just say the hell with it. But other days you try to be a little more cautious with that. But yeah, man, it's kind of, funny how they're releasing these movies now for the first purge and other movies, post-apocalyptic movies, and we're heading into, deep waters. And Jake is going to be caught out here, in a bad case. The ones that don't know about the Lord, they're going to catch it. But the ones that know about the Lord, they're really going to catch it. The scriptures say, he that knows to do his Lord's will and doesn't do it shall be beaten with more stripes. So they're going to get it even more than the average Jake out here, Okay, just shalom. Okay, shalom to you brothers and few sisters out there. Hey, just hunker in. And Salaki, my phone, the other phone that I got, is almost dead. So I was going to pull up some precepts as they came to mind so I could read them. Because that's the fuel to the fire, it kind of keeps the coals, burning. But nevertheless, You know, the time of Jacob's trouble is around the corner. I looked at the calendar for March 14th, March 15th of this year. It falls in between Thursday and a Friday. So it's very interesting to see if something will happen that date or not. Most of the times when things happen, they just happen, you know, black swan events, you know, things that are not expected. Just like 9/11, Pearl Harbor, you know, and other events like that that took, you know, people by surprise. They weren't expecting. Whenever you hear people talking about stuff that's going to actually go down on such and such a date, and especially if you hear it in the news and the media, you know, you just know that they ain't going to do shit. You know, just like they were talking about some T error attacks, you know, on New Year's, and I knew nothing was going to happen, because, you know, when they forecast it like that, that means ain't shit going to happen. But they probably have something else in the works. In the book of Amos 3, it says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord hath not done it? So whenever these things start happening, which they are happening, we know that it's the Lord doing these things. And times are going to get real bad for Jake out here. That's why this year has been dubbed by the elder Pastor as, you know, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And anything can bring that about. You know, some HEALTH scare or emergency, you know, and many other things. Now, one thing that I did notice, and I remember when we first saw the movie First Purge, when it first came out, is that you had you know, the one Ephraimite chick, they offered her money, and he said, how you gonna give me $5,000, you know, to stay home? And they said yes. He said, how do you know if I stayed home? He said, well, we're gonna put a tracking device into your hand, you know. So these are all things that could be very possible, you know, if a so-called HEALTH emergency was to happen, as it did back in 2020, and they could, you know, push heavily into pushing that MOTB, because remember, that's the ultimate goal of the international banking families, is to, you know, insert this particular device into all of these people out here. And, you know, pretty much this is what we're waiting for to happen, because we know that that's going to be something that's going to speed up the prophecies even more. And that's something that we've been waiting for, you know. And once they push that, you know that that's really going to amp up everything out here and make things move a lot faster, you know. So we're keeping an eye out for all of these things that we see in the news, you know, we see in the media, we see, you know, happening, you know, bringing about and causing the prophecies to be fulfilled. And that's why the scriptures speak about being vigilant, you know, and being watchful of these things, because once these things start happening, then that the end is near. And the signs to watch for. You have many signs, you know, up in the heavens, on the earth, you know, dealing with earthquakes, dealing with uproars of the people, pretty much dealing with financial woes that are causing turmoil to happen, you know, in these different countries, but especially here in America, because the scriptures call America the virgin daughter of Babylon, because they've really never been touched by, you know, major wars like that, like other parts of the world. And also, you know, even though you had different events that took place throughout the years, there has never been a time like this. You know, there has never been a time like this. These economic woes, these hard times that people are experiencing right now. You had, you know, something similar to it during the time of the Great Depression, but this, as Gerald Celente calls, is going to be the greatest depression. You know, because you got to remember, in order for there to be a time of Jacob's trouble, there has to be hardship. Hardship, you know, is not going to come if you're in prosperity. This is the brother Kwarai Bad, 32 to 33. Now learn the parable of the fig tree and put it forth leaves. You know that summer is when you shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors, right? And this is why we keep our eyes out for what's going on. And the beautiful thing about it is it's impossible for one man to catch everything, but it's possible for all the men collectively to catch different things and report. And that's what the job of the prophet is. You know, that the Lord said that they will not hold their peace day nor night, and they're going to continually speak, teach, and warn of the things that are coming, you know, to this place, especially Babylon the Great, which is going to be the greatest deliverance and the main deliverance on the planet. Now you will have, you know, elect that will be beamed up from the four corners of the earth, but the main deliverance is going to be out of Babylon the Great, because the Lord is going to make the major example of this place, because they're pushing that demonic agenda upon the world. And the world has eaten it up. They've eaten it up. And therefore the Lord is going to make sure that he makes the greatest example out of Babylon the Great. So let's see. 675. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh. The scriptures to guide us, because none of us technically in this lifetime have actually seen the Most High, even though indirectly we have. When we read the scriptures and the Lord opens up our understanding, we listen to the men of the Lord that give us the understanding. That is a form of seeing the Lord, because we're able to witness things that the average person out here cannot see, because the Lord is opening up these things to us. He's opening up our eyes to this, you know. And as we see things happening, we see the end coming closer, and also we see the the Lord making it clearer and clearer as each day goes by. It's almost like we're looking into a crystal ball, as they call it, you know, the Urim and the Thummim, and we could actually see the future just by reading the scriptures and by seeing the events unfold on the planet, you know. And it's a beautiful thing to see. And the majority of people can't see it, and when you try to break it down to them, they look at it as a strange thing because they can't see it. So if somebody can't see something and you talk about it, they're not going to accept it, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to say a few words on that. Anything can bring about Jacob's trouble, you know. Now with this situation with the HELTH, you know, emergencies that they're talking about coming, you know, March 14th, March 15th, and Lord will, something pops off way before then, because that's a little far off, even though it ain't, you know. Passover is coming up soon, you know. So a lot of things are happening. A lot of things are happening, and we haven't even done a full week in 2024. So it's very interesting to see everything play out the way the scripture spoke about it. So, you know, with that, you know, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. Lord's will, Spirit, give me a lesson to go into, so I can, you know, feed the sheep and the lamb of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, give them more edification. You know, I just felt compelled to say a few words on that. And I wish my phone wasn't, you know, almost dead, the other one, so I could have pulled up, you know, some precepts. But it's all good. Lord